All right, I'm speaking with Blake Smith here at Nippert Stadium. This is Cincinnati Soccer Talk, finishing up some of our new player interviews for the season. So, Blake, basically, a couple questions for the fans out there, the listeners of Cincinnati Soccer Talk, so they can get to know you a little bit better. Starting off, obviously, we've seen you playing defender a little bit, obviously on the left. Are you predominantly left or right-footed?
Yeah, so I'm left-footed, definitely left-footed. I don't really have much of a right foot, but sometimes if I have to, if I get in trouble, I'll use my right foot.
All right. And do you like any other position besides, outside back, or is that pretty much the one that you like?
No, really anything on the left side. I grew up playing left winger, so transitioned to a left back a few years ago, and I enjoy it a lot because I get to come up the flank as a winger a lot of times in the formation that we've been playing here. So in the attack, I almost get to become a winger in that sense, and then I also have to track back defensively as a left back. So,
okay. So just again, coming back so people can get to know you a little bit better, why don't you talk about like the most memorable soccer experience you've had? And it can be as a professional, or it could be even as a youth, or whatever maybe in your life you would say that was the moment, that I will remember forever.
Yeah, no, for sure. I would say, the moment I got drafted was definitely one of the biggest achievements.
Impact?
With the Montreal Impact, yeah. So hearing my name selected 8th overall, MLS, Montreal Impact, it was just a moment of, like something you work towards your whole life, and then once you realize your dream of being a professional soccer player, you're just, you feel like you've made it at that point. Obviously you haven't. That's just the beginning of a new chapter. So in that sense, I would say that would be, one of my biggest achievements. But then, just the next one would be scoring my first professional goal for Montreal Impact, and then Champions League final with Impact, and then just every bit of success is a new chapter and a new achievement and new biggest moment, I guess. So now it would be playing in front of 30,000 fans at Nippert Stadium.
Well, that'll be a fun one when we finally get there, April 7th. So let's talk about Montreal Impact a little bit. That was obviously a pinnacle of your career, getting to that point. But then, that also led you to the NASL and then ultimately to here. So maybe talk about your path from Montreal to the NASL, and then ultimately what got you here to FC Cincinnati.
Yeah, so I... Playing in Montreal, I obviously played with Alessandro Nesta for one season before he retired. And obviously, I guess I made a little impression on him, and he became the head coach of Miami FC. And from there, I got a phone call saying, that he was very interested in having me come to Miami. And, at the moment, I thought it was the right fit for me. So I walked into there, very excited and looking forward to being coached by Nesta, one of the best center backs of all time. And, I learned a lot from him. And he was actually the one that kind of converted me to the left back as opposed to playing a winger. And so I learned a lot from him in 2 years, tactically as a defender. And then, from there, obviously, Alan saw something that he liked I don't know if it was in the Open Cup playing against each other or where he found his interest in me. But that was a great experience to play for Nesta, and now I'm very excited to be here in Cincinnati playing for Alan Koch. He's a great guy and seems to have a lot of great ideas. So we have a good team, and it's going to be interesting, but it's exciting.
Did the game, you mentioned the Open Cup game, did the game down there have any influence on your decision to come up here at all?
Not particularly. I knew Cincinnati had a really good team, and I knew all about the fan base and how special of a place it was to be here. And so kind of whenever I saw the interest from Cincinnati that they were trying to get me here, I was 100% on board and wanted to do whatever I could to make that happen. So I'm very happy to be here and very excited to start playing some real games.
Okay, so besides soccer or football, what other passions do you have? What else do you do when you're not on the pitch?
Oof. I don't have too many passions outside of soccer. I just like to relax. I like to watch TV and binge watch TV shows.
Any particular show right now that you're binge watching?
Currently, not really, actually. I just finished, what was it? Stranger Things. That's a good one.
Yep.
But, yeah, I don't have too many hobbies outside of soccer other than just relaxing and trying to keep my body healthy for the next training session.
Okay. So then next question I typically will ask the American players is, are there any non-U.S. soccer teams that you follow? Who is your maybe European team or maybe South American team?
Yeah, for me it's Arsenal. I grew up idolizing Thierry Henry, and so watching him as a child, I just kind of found myself becoming an Arsenal fan for no other reason than that. But so unfortunately, I'm an Arsenal fan at this moment, and hoping for some change in the future. But yeah, Arsenal.
Well, you've got a lot of company on your team, obviously.
Yeah.
Quite a few Arsenal fans on the team. Speaking of the team, so you've been with them since, part of IMG at least, and all the time here since. Is there any players on the team that have stood out to you, not necessarily on the pitch, but, just in some way, players that have had an impact on you? Maybe existing players who helped you transition to Cincinnati, or players who have supported you in this change? So.
Honestly, coming here was a very easy transition for me. The guys kind of welcomed me with open arms, and I would say pretty much everybody has stood out in my mind in one way or another as helping me to come here and feel welcome. And I was roommates with Nasl, Corbin, and Spencer and IMG, so they were the ones that kind of got to know up close and personally at first. But pretty much everybody has been, incredible so far, and it's a fun group of guys.
Yeah, obviously, you all work hard. I mean, the goal is to get better and to win every game. Not that that's possible, but that's the goal. But you mentioned fun. It's a fun group of guys as well. So, who are the jokers? Who are the guys that are always looking to get a smile or a laugh out of somebody?
There's a few. Nas obviously is a funny guy. Corbin, Jimmy's funny guy. I mean, pretty much everybody has their moments, I'd say. But those guys, and Richie, just because Richie, both. Yeah. And everybody's funny. Everybody, I don't know. It's a good group of guys, and everybody has good banter in the locker room, and we're always joking around with everybody. So it's very important to have that in the locker room, and it's a close group of guys.
Okay. Leadership is, one of those things we've seen various players wearing the captain's armband up to this point in different halves of games or whatever. But beyond the person who wears the band, there are people that will step up either through the way they play, through the things they say, the actions they take. Who do you see so far really standing out as exhibiting lots of leadership on this team?
I'm a little bit biased to say Richie Ryan just because I played with him in Miami, and I know his character and how he is on the field, and I think he does a great job of being the voice on the field. I would say him, I guess. And then Deckel as well is a very outspoken leader, and he, he's played at the highest level and knows the game of football very well. And being the center back, he's able to see everything in front of him, and I think he does a great job of organizing everybody and bringing the guys together. And he's also a warrior, not afraid of any tackle. So yeah, that's it. So he definitely is. Those two for me would be the guys that I would say I would really look up to and take motivation from those two.
And you mentioned Richie Ryan. Obviously, you played with him in Miami. You joined the team before he did. Mm-hmm. Were you aware that he was looking at the team when you made your decision, or did that happen afterwards? Or
I had heard some things. Nothing official, but I had heard maybe, potentially, who knows. But whenever I did find out that it was actually happening, I was very excited to have him coming, just because I know the caliber of player he is and the kind of guy he is. So I was very excited to be able to have him on my team again.
So let's talk a little bit about Cincinnati. Have you ever been to Cincinnati before you joined the team?
No. No.
Simple answer. So you probably had at least some impressions or guesses or thoughts of what Cincinnati was going to be like. Has anything surprised you, or was there anything like some misconception you had about the city that when you got here you were like, wow, this is not what I expected at all?
No, honestly, I had no expectations coming here. I knew it was going to be cold, but other than that, really had no idea anything about the city. I obviously Googled things and looked up places to go and things to do, and so when I got here, I just kind of embraced it with open arms and just took it for what it was. And no, I'm enjoying it. I think it's a very special place, and it's cool to go places and people know the club that you play for, and I think that's huge. So anywhere you go play soccer, you want people to know about your club and support your club, and they do an incredible job here.
Have you? You said you Googled places and tried to embrace a little bit. Have you found any little restaurants or shops or little gems that you've really taken to since you moved here?
Not yet. I tried to go eat at the Sleepy Bee diner for one brunch, and the wait was like an hour and a half or 2 hours. So I was like, I'll try another time. But still looking. I went to the market where they have, I don't even know the name of it. It's just a big area where a bunch of local people bring their fresh produce and whatnot, and I thought that was a really cool area.
Oakley?
Square? No, I don't know. I think it was in OTR if I'm not mistaken. Could it be Finley Market? Finley Market. Yeah, there you go. So I went there and I thought that was a really cool area. But still exploring, still trying to find some hidden gems, but definitely enjoying the city.
Okay. And then the last question I always ask everybody, and you may have even been warned by people, but we always have to find out, have you had a chance to try Skyline Chili yet?
No, I haven't. I don't want to disappoint the fans, so I'm going to have to try it eventually. But just been so busy getting settled in and unpacking and arranging the apartment and whatnot. But soon I will definitely have to try Skyline Chili.
Yeah, maybe on that extra break you have or something. It's not exactly training food. So yeah.
Maybe on my next day off I'll have to try it out, but I will try it.
All right. Thanks, Blake. It's been great talking to you.
Thank you. You too.
All right.